Hey everybody, Kanani here. Uh, Finally, another video. I've been pretty busy recently, uh, and I haven't really been coming up with too many ideas for videos, so that's the reason why I haven't been posting. But, um, I recently, actually today, just asked some people if they wanted me to do a video on how I found out that I was trans or started figuring out how I was trans. And so that's what this video is going to be about. And also, just real quick, I finally got my first of 3 letters to get my top surgery, so that's exciting. I just have to wait for all my replacement um, cards and everything to come back into my possession because I lost my wallet just not that long ago, and I had everything important in there, so that kind of sucks. But all I have to do is go to the LGBT center here, where I live, and make an appointment to see a therapist there, get the letter, and then make an appointment to go see my surgeon, who is a good 2 hour commute via the bus and the trolley, which is what I take because I don't have a car because I'm kind of broke. So, um, trying to think where should I start with this. Um, so basically, when I first started figuring out that I was trans, I wasn't too sure which group I fit in more with, the guys or the girls. This was back um, when I just hit puberty, and I noticed that my body was changing in weird ways that I didn't understand, and I didn't really quite know why I couldn't do certain things and why certain things were happening to me. So it was very confusing, and what ended up happening was I started to seclude myself a little bit more. I don't have many friends from back when I was in uh, first through 8th grade. I have a very slight handful of friends from during those years. Uh, and so, because I was kind of being rebellious about the fact I wasn't happy with with the new changes that my body was going through, I started getting into more trouble in school. I started flunking my classes. Um, it wasn't just because of that. It was other reasons that were solved later on in high school, but that was one of the main reasons. So, fast forward a year, it's 7th grade. I get my first short haircut. It was about the length that this part of my hair is, except my bangs were a little shorter. Uh, I had your stereotypical 2009 emo boy haircut. Uh, Basically, that's what it was. And so I start dressing more masculine, and come to school the following week, uh, and um, I meet up with one of my closest and oldest friends, um, and she saw me through the gate sitting on the bench, and I was in a slouching position so that way my chest wouldn't be visible. I had my hair covering my eyes because I didn't want her to notice my face right away. I um I also just I saw her, and I was smiling. I was smiling like a big old dork because she came right up to me, and as soon as she realized it was me, she said, "I was about to start flirting with you." And I thought that a new cute boy was coming to the school. I'm just like, that's awesome. So, um, just being recognized as a male was pretty exciting for me. I really liked it. Um, but I didn't really know what it was. From the time I was in 5th grade up until I'd say about my freshman year in high school, I didn't know what trans was. but I knew I didn't fit in completely with girls, but I didn't fit in completely with guys either, because I'm pretty feminine, depending on who I'm with. I can either be feminine or masculine. I'm more masculine than I am feminine. But just the fact that she recognized me as a male really made me happy. So the rest of the day, I'm going around around school saying that I'm a guy, that I'm a new student in school, and my friend came up with this name for me, and luckily I never stuck with it, because it was just a joke name. But the entire day I was going around saying that, hi, my name's Caesar, and it was pretty fun. I liked it, and from that day on, I didn't really like having my hair grow out, but because I didn't quite understand what was going on, I let it grow. Though I wouldn't let it grow and stay long for long periods of time. I would cut it and get it shorter every single time, up until high school, when I started feeling like me portraying anything feminine wasn't completely me. And I don't get me wrong, I don't have anything wrong with being feminine or having feminine traits. Dumpster truck. It's just that it's more I'm more comfortable being recognized as male and masculine. So during my 8th grade graduation, I dressed in a suit. I refused to wear a dress. My dad kept trying to push a dress on me, and I told him, no, I will wear a suit. And if I don't wear a suit, I will go in my regular clothes to graduation, which he wasn't too happy about that. So he got me a suit. Granted, it was a it was a female suit, like a female work suit. But the fact that it was a suit made me happy, because I didn't have to walk down the center lane in the school auditoriums dressed in like this frilly stuff that he was planning on putting me in. But when I was in high school, I did start doing a little more research, like what does it mean when you're a girl but you feel more like a guy? And I started doing that research. They said, oh, well, there are points where you're either a trans man or just a masculine tomboy, or you're a masculine lesbian. And it's like, well, I'm not lesbian because I don't just like girls, I like guys too. I'm bi, I know that. I've known that since I was in 2nd grade, because I knew from a very young age that I liked both guys and girls, because I found both very attractive. So that was crossed off immediately, and then I got to thinking, I don't know what trans guy or transgender is, so I'll do a little more research. And then I did my research through YouTube, and I started doing more things masculine once I started doing the research, just to see how it played out and how I felt. And I felt so amazing doing more masculine things rather than doing feminine things, which every once in a while I would put makeup on. I wasn't comfortable wearing heavy makeup. I'm still not comfortable wearing heavy makeup. Like if it's light makeup, like eyeliner and eyeliner, eyeshadow, and maybe some foundation, that's fine with me. But I won't wear heavy makeup like a lot of women do, because obviously that doesn't make me feel any better. But I started to realize, it's like, hey, I'm more dysphoric about a lot of aspects of being a woman than I am when I'm projecting masculine. So I started coming out to friends saying that I was trans. and that if it turned out that I wasn't, then that's fine. But as the years went on, I started feeling better and more confident about myself the more I came out as trans to everybody, the more I kept introducing myself as male. And it's just, I felt so great about myself. And like I said in my reintroduction video, I did hit a part of my life where it wasn't good for me. I met my ex, who we went to the same school, and I don't know what the heck attracted me to him, but I was just head over heels for this garbage person. And so what ended up happening was, when we first started dating, he said that if I wanted to stay with him and if I wanted him to love me completely, I needed to quit saying I was trans. That in and of itself should have made me back off, but it didn't, and I regret it. But it's just, I was blind. I don't. The garbage truck is leaving. But I just don't know why it took so long for me to leave that situation. I just know that now I'm a lot happier, and I'm almost completely as happy as I used to be. Just some stuff keeps coming up that makes me get a little depressed again, but it's nothing major, nothing nearly as bad as what I went through the entire time I was with him, which was almost a total of 4 years. I was so depressed, anxious, stressed out, and dysphoric that everything just meshed together, and I couldn't tell what was what. So even though I was having symptoms of my dysphoria, it was just so clouded in that mess of the rest of what I was feeling that I didn't know it was dysphoria until one day I ended up pregnant. And then I noticed that my chest was getting bigger, and I didn't like it. I kept trying to convince myself, hey, this is great, this is amazing, your chest is getting bigger, you can finally show off, blah blah blah. That was just me trying to cope with the fact that I wasn't okay with the changes in my body. I don't regret having my daughter. No matter what I say, no matter how it sounds, I do not regret having her. I love her more than anything in the world. I didn't like the experience of being pregnant. Not having a menstrual cycle was great, but I didn't like the overall experience, what it did to my body. I didn't start defining my dysphoria from everything else until after I had her, when my chest was still larger than it normally was, and everything. I was becoming more and more depressed. I was taking out my frustrations on my spouse. He was taking out his frustrations on me. It got really, really bad, to the point where it got physical at some point. And after our daughter turned a year old, I left. I took her, I got full custody, I left. Now he has her every other weekend. She's not here right now, so he has her. But I wish I could take back that time I wasted on him, because of how he made me feel, what he was doing to me mentally. Um, but I will not take back having my daughter. I love her. She's the only good thing that came out of that relationship. And I will never allow her to feel like she was a burden or she's ever going to be a burden, because she's not. But once I left, I came back out as trans. A lot of people were confused and taken aback because of it, because I had been going for the past 4 years saying that I was a female and that I was going by my birth name. And I understand that some people are frustrated with me about that, because 1 second I'm trans, 1 second I'm not, and then the next thing they know, I'm back to being trans, and I'm on hormones. So it can be frustrating for some of my friends, I understand that, but I do really appreciate everything that my friends do for me as far as supporting me goes. I've already had a few friends offer to go with me when I get my top surgery, because I can get there just fine, but when it comes time for me to leave, if I have to take a cab or anything home, I can't be by myself. And they will not release me to take public transportation alone. So I have to figure all that out. But just everything that I went through, from finding out that I was bi as a young child, then figuring out my gender identity, along with everything else that happened afterwards, it's been a really, really long roller coaster, and I don't think it's gonna stop. But right now I'm at a point in my life where I'm happy, and I don't think I would ever give it up, because no matter what anybody else says, no matter what anybody tries to portray on me, I know who I am. I am me. And that's the gist of it. I went from a weird little anime loving girl to a weird big ass anime loving guy. And it took a long time for me to finally come to terms with, no matter how much I try to change myself for somebody else, I can't. And I shouldn't want to change for somebody else. I should want to change for me. And that's what I was failing to see when I was with my ex. Because I was trying so hard to change for him that I was making myself so much more depressed than I had ever been in my life. And the fact that I was rejecting who I knew I was for that person, it's not okay. So please, if you are in a situation, whether you are a son, a daughter who is being portrayed, who is under your parents' influence, and they are making you believe that you're trans, please at least convince them to take you to see a therapist. Because I didn't mention it, but I was seeing a therapist while I was figuring out my gender identity. And they even confirmed that what I was feeling was both depression and dysphoria. I am more dysphoric about certain parts of my body than I am others. I am going to be getting top and bottom surgery, but my bottom surgery is going to come later on, because I'm not as dysphoric about my bottom area as I am about my chest. But I had to see a therapist through my school in order to confirm that, and she confirmed it, and I was diagnosed with dysphoria. whether you believe you need dysphoria or not to be trans, please go see a therapist in order to confirm it, because they are the professionals. They know how to spot these types of things. They know the difference between you wanting to change from trauma versus you wanting to change because you really feel like you need to change. And I never felt like I needed to change from any trauma because I wasn't traumatized as a child. I just never felt like I fit in anywhere. Even as a little kid, I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere, but I was trying so hard to fit in that I ended up being alone. But it's all a process in life on discovering who you are, who you want to be, and everything else, because everything changes. Everything always changes. But when you feel like you want to change something about yourself physically because you're not happy and you're unsure if it's really dysphoria, body dysmorphia, or you're just trying to escape from something, always consult a therapist or a medical professional first, because they know, in the end, they will be able to tell you what you need to do. And it's a lot more helpful than just going and talking to some friends, because there's only so much your friends can do. And your friends are always going to, if your friends are good people, they're always going to support you no matter what you say. But in the end, they're not the professionals. They are going to tell you what you want to hear. Whereas professionals, you might not like what you hear, but you have to listen to them because they know about these things a lot better than you do. A lot better than most of us do. But at the same time, if you really feel like you need that change, then just try, even if it's for a day, try to look at things more positively and see where it goes from there. And just stay true to yourself, no matter what. I'm really bad at giving oral advice. I'm better at writing it down. So I'm sorry if this video has been all over the place, but it's a mix of what I have gone through versus what I feel, and blah 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 blah. So, like I said, if you feel like you are trans or that you need to change certain aspects of your body, please, please, please go seek professional help first before you make any big decisions, because there has been a very high rise in detransitioners because of the fact that they decided to ignore the medical professionals and continue on with a process they didn't even need to do. And I know not everybody's going to like me for saying that you need dysphoria in order to be trans, but that is the plain truth. If you look at all medical records of real trans people, every single true transgendered person has dysphoria, and not a single person has no dysphoria and decides to be trans. It's not a choice. Our brains are wired female or male, and you can't just decide, hey, I'm gonna switch from this brain to this brain, or I don't experience any dysphoria, but I know I'm trans. It's not a trend. It's not funny. And it is not something to play around with. If you have any kind of dysphoria, meaning you absolutely hate the fact that you are born in the opposite gendered body of your brain, you can't accept that you have feminine or male features, depending on which one you were born as, then please go have it confirmed. If you have body dysmorphia, meaning you just don't like a certain feature of your body, whether it's your face, your chest, your arms, your legs, whatever, go have a therapist tell you you have body dysmorphia. Go see that professional, because they will tell you if you have gender dysphoria or body dysmorphia, and they will tell you what process to take in order to fix either one of those, or to at least help ease either one of those. And yes, I understand that most transgendered people, once they get their transition going, their dysphoria is lessened. My dysphoria has been lessened since I started testosterone, and just knowing that I'm getting my top surgery probably within the next half year, I am starting to feel more confident. Granted, I'm not about to freaking run around without a binder or at least a bra on outside. And yes, I do have to wear bras because I can't afford more than the binder that I already have. So, don't judge me on that. I hate it. I hate having to wear a bra. I do wear sports bras, so they're more constrictive. But, just please don't take this kind of medical issue lightly. Don't think it's a trend. It's not trendy. It sucks being trans, because you're in a body where your brain is constantly like, this is wrong, you should be like that, you don't need to be like this, you should have been born like that. It sucks. But it does get better when you start transitioning. Just, you really need to seek the medical professional in order to get diagnosed with either body dysmorphia or gender dysphoria, because there is a difference, and a lot of people mistake those differences as being the same thing, and it's not. So, that was my little video, my little information video, and whether you unsubscribe from me for this, I don't care. I really don't, because it needs to be said. There's so many people in the trans community who've already said it, who already get enough backlash, and I'm not scared of it. I really am not. So, point is, if you know you are trans, if you have had these feelings for a long time, don't hide from it, but don't automatically assume you are it. You have to go and seek medical professional. And this was a more serious video. I'm sorry, but I had to put my 2 cents in. I will see you all later. Bye.